So, thank you so much for joining the Sue Free Show today. I am so blessed and so honored to be with you again. And you know, there is no coincidence. It's when God decides to stay anonymous. And so if you've tuned in on the show today, it's because you're supposed to be here. And we are going to be talking. I have some live guests today, and I'm very excited about that. So before we go any further, I want to tell you that today we're going to be talking about the Nehemiah Project, and it's for foster children. And I have a personal story to tell, and it's going to be very short and sweet, that when I was growing up, my mom, we had foster children that would come and live at our house. And it taught me so many things, and it was such a blessing to be part of this program. I feel like my heart is already here, and I want to share it with you because there's such a blessing to be able to be a part of something that is so big and so needed. And so we're going to describe it, we're going to explain it, and at the end we're going to say, hey, you want to get involved? And we're hoping that something here is going to drive you into being active and involved in something that is so special and so wonderful. So I want to introduce our guests, and thank you for joining in on Facebook Live. All these people it's exciting to see all these people joining in with us, and I'm so excited. So welcome. I'm going to start with Edward Smith. He says Bishop. How do you say your name? Bishop Edward Smith?
That's fine.
And you have the most amazing radio voice.
Thank you.
Is just so wonderful. And I'm going to give you a little background on Bishop Edward Smith. He was born in Los Angeles, California. He is the pastor, CEO, and bishop of Zoe Christian Fellowship of Whittier. Bishop Smith is the founder of the Zoe School of Economic Development, which is responsible for establishing and encouraging many minority entrepreneurial programs, including the Nehemiah Project. Pastor Ed earned a BA in Applied Mathematics and an MBA in Marketing Finance from UCLA. His speaking ministry engagements have taken him to Japan, Puerto Rico, Guatemala, South Africa, Russia, and Brazil. Before full-time ministry, Pastor Ed worked in several marketing executive positions with companies such as General Mills, Ford Motor Company, and Carnation Company. He led the first South African government-sponsored trip of black entrepreneurs to South Africa and was spotlighted by CNN Headline News for his ministry involvement there. Pastor Ed is founder and board chair of the Nehemiah Project, a faith-based initiative that works to build greater awareness of the challenges faced by our nation at risk and transitioning foster youth. TNP builds local networks of support while advocating for more effective and supportive policies to help this invisible community develop self-sufficiency and a resilient future. Pastor Ed has been married to Vanessa, beautiful woman. She's right here with us. Vanessa Smith since 1975 and is blessed with 4 wonderful children, 3 sons, Joshua, Marcy, Eddie, and Aaron, 1 daughter, Naomi, and 3 grandsons, Josue, Aaron, James, and Angelo. Awesome. Okay, so welcome today. That was kind of long-winded, but I wanted you to get a feel of this person that you're going to be hearing from and where he comes from and why he has such a vital part in this whole situation. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having us.
I asked before we got on the air, I said, what is your main desire by being on the show today? Can you just express what that main desire is?
To help people become aware of the plight of former foster youth. There's around 400,000 children in foster care throughout America. And just in LA alone, there's around 46 to 50,000 children. Every year, at least 18 to 20,000 come out of foster care, and they have no place to go. They have options, but sometimes they don't know about those options. And so they end up in sex trafficking. They get involved in drugs to try to survive. And some of them, in fact, lose their lives. So we want to help them and get involved and help them thrive in life, get jobs and so forth.
That is so wonderful. I was on Facebook just 2 days ago. I knew we were going to have this show today. And there was a girl with a picture with 50% on it. So it grabbed my curiosity. And it said foster children, that 50% of foster children, when they reach the age of adulthood that they become homeless within 6
Yes.
months because they just, what you said, they don't know what to do or how to do it and whatnot.
Can you imagine raising one of your children and at the age of 18, 19, 20,
Yeah,
they have nowhere to go?
right. You have to leave the house now. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not only that is, I remember with the children is that there was a low self-esteem. They didn't feel like they were worthy, like where are my parents? They just didn't have those feelings of feeling like they mattered.
And really, the church plays an important part in this effort to help really come alongside and put their arms around these children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're in our churches, but they don't come with a sign that says, I'm a former foster youth.
Right.
But they're in our churches, and if we start being sensitive to their needs, we can help them.
Absolutely, and that's what we're here for today, is we want to find if there's a way, which there is, a way to help these children that need our help. So we're going to go right into how can owning your own business, for those that are listening, that you have a business and you're wondering, you know, of course you can make a difference. You make a difference with your employees, right? My employees are my ministry. You can make a difference with your employees and your customers, how you deal with them. But how can owning your own business change a community on both a local and global level? Let's just make it even bigger. Let's go a little further, can we? So who would like to answer that question?
I'll start. I think just in a very practical way, you're helping with resources. And if we look at a local level, you know, we look at foster youth, for example, in Los Angeles, there's so many things we could do in a very practical way, such as helping people find jobs. There's mentoring, there's leading by example. And then if we look more at a global level, I mean, if people really knew the statistics that are really out there, I mean, you know, more than 60% of people on the planet live on less than $10 a day. So that's a pretty dramatic fact. That's not a theory, that's a fact. More than 40,000 people every single day die on this planet due to starvation. So even though we have, you know, all the technology and resources within, you know, our grasp in this amazing country we live in, it's amazing to think if we step outside and broaden our horizons, we could really make a difference on the planet.
Thank you, Anthony. Anybody else want to join in on that? Or
I would say that the business people are really special because they tend to connect with people. They serve people. They provide things for people. And these young people, like, for example, the former foster youth, need jobs, but they need a community. And we spend so much time in our jobs that needs to be a community, an extended family, if you would. And this is an opportunity to not only provide income, but also a support system to be there. For example, when the offices are closed because it's Thanksgiving, where do they go? Are we inviting them to our homes? So we have a unique opportunity to be a blessing to them.
and we have to look for those opportunities, and then they're not too far away. It could be your neighbor next door. It could be the person just right down the street. Just always be aware. Ask the Lord to reveal and show you those people that are in need of having a meal or having to sit down at a table. It
Yes.
just is so wonderful, blessing. And this is the season, although every day should be the season, it is the season. So let's look. Can we do that, listeners? Can we just look for and ask the Lord to reveal to us those opportunities that are just all around us if we just pay attention just a little bit? So, Anthony, you told me not to reach out to you, but I'm going to right now because I just want to ask you if you've seen the impact of, the A Specialist, your company, and your clients partnering with nonprofit organizations. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's been really wonderful. I'm working with the Nehemiah Project and Hope International. What I've noticed is that people actually do want to help, but they need a platform. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that we always hear is, I just don't have time. Mm. So what we've created is a unique platform. When we end up signing contractual agreements, we integrate a portion of our profit. It's really profit with a purpose. And then we have our restaurant clients write a direct check to the charity that we support at the A Specialist. And what that does is that it kind of creates, it flips it from thinking your way into right acting. It's more acting your way into right thinking. And then people get interested. And as the nonprofits that we support send emails out and thank you cards and what your donation is done and what it provides, it just kind of opens up that door. God opens up that door, and it kind of probes people in the direction of like, wow, me giving back and me doing business and making profit with a purpose, really makes a difference.
I love that. Profit with a purpose. That is so awesome. I love that. Thank you, Anthony. So how has your charitable involvement changed your relationship with your staff and clients?
It's not about a P&L statement, just to be very direct. It's not all, but some want to know more. I've even had the luxury of people coming to Africa with me on mission trips and getting involved with Hope International, and that's just been spectacular. And it's just kind of a different. It really integrates not just the success of our company, but we're doing business to really kind of incorporate significance into our business, but ultimately our lives, because that's where we spend most of our time. So if we're spending, if we do the math and we're spending 40 hours a week, some of us more at work, I mean, shouldn't we be doing that with a greater purpose than just kind of a P&L statement, I say?
Me personally with Ecola, I have employees that have been with me a long time, and they each have a story just like all of us do. And when I think about when I first bought the company in 2000, and I was very sad that I had to, take a back seat to the ministries that I was involved in church, because I really enjoyed everything I was doing. I was the spiritual gifts person who helped people get into where they were to serve for the church, and that's using our gifts. So I learned something there. But in doing all of that and buying the company, I realized that I had to take a step back, and I was crying to my pastor because I had to do that. And at that time, I just heard this little voice. His voice isn't little, but I heard a little whisper saying, "Your employees are your ministry, Sue." That we can minister no matter where we are. And as business owners, we don't have to feel bad that we make money, as long as that money is going to the right place and doing the right things. So if you're a business, you need to be looking for opportunities to bless, but also help and provide a vehicle for people to be the best they can be. And understand that they have worth and that they have value. And when they have a significant role in a business or a ministry, it really helps feel that purpose that God created them for. And it gives them a sense of why to get up in the morning. So I feel very fortunate that even though I had to step down from my service in church, that my employees have benefited, and I have benefited even more by watching their growth and watching them go. And this is what it's about. This is what it's about, is inputting into other people, looking for opportunities to help. And if we have, whatever we have in our hand, we need to use. That's what Moses did. He had his cane, and he used his cane. Whatever you have, use it to the best for God's glory. Traditionally, people think that supporting ministry is just about fundraising. How is this different?
Well, for us with the Nehemiah Project, it's all about people, and really most organizations, it is about the people they serve. It's how they communicate it oftentimes is misunderstood. Money has a purpose. It helps fund the resources and the purposes of God and the kingdom. And so when we put how it helps people, it buys food, it provides housing, transportation, provide counseling. That's the end. It's the end game. And so we focus on the end game, then people can participate with their money anywhere they desire. But it's the end game that's most important.
And time is money, because some of us don't have the money, but we do have time.
Yes.
So, and it's such a blessing to give, more than to receive. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
So how is the importance of relationships, prayer, and really knowing what is going on in our communities and trying to help impacting you and your business? How is that happening?
Well, for us with the Nehemiah Project, I think about the commission that Jesus talks about, start in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and then also the uttermost part of the world and the earth. And I believe we can do all of it. We can do help support missionaries who are in other countries, local ministry in local areas, and in our backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And so Nehemiah is about our backyards of America. The young people who are invisible, people don't see, but they walk right by them.
Mm-hmm.
There's some of the homeless, many of the homeless, but there are people that have dreams and aspirations. And as we saw recently in meeting with some of them, they're just so excited about the possibilities of working with the Nehemiah Project, giving them a new meaning in life, awakening the potential that's inside of them.
That's very exciting. And the stories. I love the stories. I love the stories. It just brings encouragement and inspiration
Yes.
for anyone and everyone. So I look forward. I would love to have some of these kids
it'd be
come
wonderful.
in and talk.
Let's do that.
Oh, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so, listeners, I know there's people out there going, okay, this sounds really great. And I think I might want to do something here, but I'm not sure how. So how do others get involved?
With the Nehemiah Project, they can contact us at nehemiahprojectla.org, nehemiahprojectla.org. And they can find out more about what we're about, how to get involved, how to be one of our heroes, if you would, and help be a part and bring solutions to these young people's lives.
That's great. And if you don't remember that, just go to SueFries, spelled like fries, one word.com, and I will have the podcast up, and I will have all the contact information. So if you just remember that, you'll be able to reach them.
Thank you.
Haley, you were going to say something, I think.
Yeah. And
Yes.
if you are interested, I love that we have this sort of balance with how to get involved on a local level and then how to get involved on an international level. You can look up hopeinternational.org, and we take many vision trips every single year to countries like Rwanda and Dominican Republic and the Ukraine and China. And the wonderful thing about vision trips is you go and you actually get to meet and just see the work. It's not about coming in and saying, we have all the answers. It's about saying, we believe that the answers are in your hands. And so we get to celebrate with business owners and children who are saving and churches who are saving and really get to celebrate their work. So visit hopeinternational.org, or you can reach out to me, Haley Smith, and my information will be on SueFries'
Yes,
website.
Absolutely. Thank you, Haley.
Yeah,
So awesome.
and for any businessmen out there, you could reach me at anthony@theaspecialist.com. In giving, there's many ways to give, but I find it best to, two people is better than one, and being very strategic in giving. So rather you be a service-orientated business or a product-orientated business, there's many, many ways where you could give. And through that giving, actually, you're sharing the gospel, and that's just fantastic. And we are actually starting a group. We're calling it Bridge Over Troubled Waters, like the famous, wonderful song by Simon and Garfunkel.
Love that song.
and that's what it really is, a bridge. And I hear from business owners all the time who are people of just goodwill and great intentions. But, people don't know what they don't know. And once you start looking, out to the least of these, whether it be locally or internationally, wow, it's like Pandora's box. There's so much opportunity we have on our good fortune that God's given us that we could give back.
On my note with Ecola Termite and Pest Management Services is that how we're going to get involved is by having this show today, but also we have 20 needs. Those that have listened to the show, we have 20 people that are needed to join our team at the moment. And so what a wonderful win-win. I love win-wins. So I'm really looking forward to finding these wonderful people, male, female, doesn't matter.
Yep.
And, they just need to have a clean driving record, and we can just get them in there. We'll train them what they need to know, and we'll get them in not a job, but a career, and they'll grow with us and become part of our team and our family.
Wow.
And I'm really looking forward to that because we have been searching for people for 2 years now. We're growing, and so we've been searching. So I'm sure there's other companies out there that are having the same difficulty of finding good people that they can join the team. So we're looking forward to that opportunity. So you're going to help me with that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
See, with Nehemiah Project, we work with companies, not just transfer a person to them to begin to work for you, but we want to continue to support them, help them understand your company, your objectives, how to better serve you, support them even when they leave.
Right.
When they go back, even the next day, next week, they're better. They understand. Sometimes when you're not used to working in a corporate environment,
Right.
again, these young people came out of foster care, and they weren't even exposed to the people who they live with, what they do. And so this is a whole new world. And so we want to help them just be more successful long term, not just a job, but a career, and possibly one day have their own business.
That would be great. But for right now, I want to teach them all I can so that they can do everything they need to do in order
Yes.
to provide for themselves and maybe, for a family.
Yeah.
And, I'm so excited about that. I really am. All right, so we have 5 minutes, and so I want us to think and gather our thoughts on what is the final message you'd like to deliver today on the Sue Fries Show.
Well, the Nehemiah Project, you're investing in your life and your time and your resources to help our future. God is about legacy. He says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And even though they may not be our biological children, they impact our future regarding even our grandchildren, and our children will be impacted by who's leading this nation and the business people making decisions. These young people will be part of those groups of people leading this nation. And we want to make sure that they have every opportunity to thrive, find God for themselves, and get back and be a blessing.
Amen.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and just with Hope International, like you said earlier, our mission is to invest in the dreams of individuals and families and children around the world who are living in developing countries, and give them a hope for tomorrow and say, I believe in you and I want to invest in you. And so we do that in really basic ways of providing capital in places that there is no access to capital. There's no access to a loan. And so we come in and we invest literally in the person. We provide a safe place to save, to say, everything may be taken away in one day, but you have something put aside for tomorrow. You have something set aside that can help build your future and put food on the table for your family. And then we come along and we say, we want to literally live out the gospel of Christ. So we want to walk with you daily. We want to pray with you daily. And we want to provide a church and a home for you. A majority of our savings ministry is straight directly through the church. So our ministry around the world is not known as Hope, but it's known as First Presbyterian of Burundi or Nazarene in Zambia. And I love getting to see the church come together as literally a Catholic church, small c Catholic, of we are the church, not split by denominations, but as one body working together to bring reconciliation and flourishing to every single person on this earth.
I want to say in Corinthians, we hear the Bible verse, faith, hope, and love. And we've spent a lot of time talking about faith. And we ultimately, obviously, we hear the words all the time, I love you. But we really don't talk about hope. So I want to just commend, the Nehemiah Project and Bishop Ed Smith and Haley Smith. No relation, by the way. but
Same Heavenly Father.
It's a common name.
They make me want to become a Smith because what they're doing for their community. And I just get involved. If you're a businessman, reach out to me, and there's so many different ways where you could get involved. Ultimately, out of faith, hope, and love, the greatest of these is love. So ultimately, what a fantastic, way to think that you could be in business and you could be profitable, but you're profitable with a purpose, and ultimately you're really loving on others. And it's such a win-win across the board. And wow, it's just a way to transition, and really have significance in your life.
So if you're a businesswoman, since he only invited the businessmen,
I'm sorry.
that's okay, Anthony. I'll take the businesswomen. So the businesswomen can come to me, all right? It's okay, Anthony. We do this all the time, So when I introduced Anthony, I mentioned Convene, and I'm part of that organization. It's a wonderful organization. I'm just going to give them a shout out, too, that if you want to be part of a business entrepreneurial program, it's a wonderful place because not only do you deal with the things that you deal with for business, but you do it from a godly perspective. You want to know what Jesus would do. And you look up Bible scriptures to find out, it might not say exactly the issue that you're facing, but it does have the overall story, and so that you know how to move forward and do it in a godly way. We want to run our businesses with godly principles. And it takes some of the question marks when you're dealing with things day to day, with people, with incidences, when you have the godly principles, it helps you make those decisions and feel a comfort and a peace inside your spirit to know that you're doing things the way God would want you to do them. So we're closing, and I'm so grateful that you guys are here with me, and I feel so blessed and honored. And until next week, be a blessing to someone each and every day. God bless you. God bless you. Bye-bye.
You know what I need when I'm feeling down? You have a way of turning things all around. Somehow, I wonder how you do it when I just can't take it all anymore. Here you come knocking at my front door. I'm sure you'll have a way to solve